Alright, so checking out, had a couple of requests, checking out how I write some of the superhero themes and original material that I've got going up on SoundCloud. I'll try to put the actual address in the video when I get better at editing the video software. So maybe by the time you actually see this, I'll have maybe the address spread across here. But in case I don't, the address is soundcloud.com/flashopera, all one word on Flash Opera, which if you go there, what you're going to see is toward the bottom of the page, you'll see all the songs I've written for my rock opera about the Flash, which is finished. Check it out. And on the top, you may see different superhero themes I've written. It's been a kind of a joy of mine here lately to write some of these songs and adapt some of these themes that I hear from different superhero shows, such as CW's The Arrow and The Flash, and I've done one on Netflix, Daredevil, and I have done several on the upcoming show lineup. So try to take several steps to kind of show you what I do. A lot of the actual recording process takes place on the same device that I am filming with, so therefore it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. However, what I will show you is just some things that I do on guitar, because that's really one of my main instruments, guitar and bass. And so when I'm starting with a theme, first thing I try to do is figure out what the chord progression is, right? So start with the chord progression. So like with Daredevil, for example, they start with very much a C minor chord, right? And if you listen to the string part on it, it's something similar to. And so that's going to be the first thing I'm going to find. And so as I'm recording, I'm actually going to listen to that, and I'm going to try to use that as the basis for what I'm going to start with. And so the chord structure on Daredevil is C minor, A flat major, which is a relative major to C minor for musical purposes, and then it does a G minor. You can probably get away with a G minor 7, but a G minor underneath. So it's a variation on it. Now, it's not exactly right playing it right now, but basically we start arpeggiating the chords. And so I would listen to that string part. Right, so I would start with that, and I'd actually record it using.
So what we have here is what I'm going to be talking about in just a minute. I went ahead and edited later. This is what the string synth that I use looks like. As I'm about to tell you here in just a little bit, it actually looks like a keyboard. So what I was just doing on the guitar, I'll go ahead and add in on the keyboard here, just touching each one, and it will respond with a touch instrument. What you see at the top is where I can record it and play it. I can also adjust it. There's a dial at the top that I can adjust it with if I want to adjust certain things about it. And once I've done that, I can layer in the various parts. So usually what I try to do is have 2 or 3 string parts going, each one standing for a different part of the symphony. So I'll have bass, cello, viola, violin, and everything else. And then usually I'll double it with another synth, and I would punch in the synth the same way. It brings me up a keyboard that I can punch in the synth with. And that's how I add all the extra parts on top of all those things.
The string synth in my recording program, and I'd be able to key in, it looks like a keyboard actually, and so I can take the keyboard and key in the string synth exactly following those notes, but a lot of times I'm going to take it on guitar first and make sure that I'm playing it correctly. That way when I key in the synth, I know it's accurate. Okay? And so once I've done that, and hopefully I'll be able to find some way to show you that. After I've done that, then of course I start adding in some of the synthetic drums and things like that you hear that really are indicative of a lot of the music that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to kind of create a modern approach to it. So a lot of times I'll use kind of house drums and things like that.
So when I'm talking about house drums, this is really what I'm looking at. This is actually my synth list. And I know what you're looking at is kind of a list of my synthetic basses and pianos and guitars and things like that. But also on this list are various electronic drums that I can put in different loops, as we call it. A loop is just a repeated section of, like, 4 beats of a certain style. And usually I'll overlay 2 or 3 of those, kind of create a thicker sound. And sometimes I'll even use an extra guitar synth out of this list just to give it a bit of a thicker texture.
Now, once I've done that, of course, then I add, of course, my personal favorite, the heavier stuff. And so, like on Daredevil, for example, I'll just use the Without Fear, which is on SoundCloud.com/flashopera, shameless plug. the song I'm playing from, or showing you kind of the processes on Without Fear. And then, of course, after I've added the string part and I've doubled that, probably in a couple of synthetic instruments just to thicken the mixture, then I'll add the guitar parts. And I've got several on that track. One of them is just a simple kind of groove on it, so hopefully you get this. Something like that. Okay, just real, and the bass will cover that too. I'll hopefully be able to show you the bass here in a few sequences. But the bass will cover that part as well. And that's just the rhythm guitar part, and that really gives me the basis for what I'm doing. I apologize, I'm probably wearing my son's preschool t-shirt from our trip today, so I'm sure you're looking at it going, why in the world is he doing a video wearing a preschool t-shirt? But that's the idea. So if you listen to that track, if you listen to Without Fear, that's one part. And then to give it a little more flavor other than just the string part, I added in kind of a lead part on top, a little heavier section. Right? So I added that on top. And actually I think I may have made a mistake on the chords. So obviously C minor, A flat major. Ah, there it is. So I apologize. So when I was showing you the chords, I originally decided it's a G minor. It's actually an F minor. I apologize. I was thinking about another progression. There's another song I recently did that has a similar progression. So in correction then, I apologize. The rhythm part would actually be right. And so then that would make, of course, once again, that lead part then on top of that. Right, something like that. Okay, so now I've got at least 2 guitar parts going, plus the bass parts, plus all the parts to thicken up the mixture of what I've already created. So,
well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find me on Twitter at MikeSchmidt09. Of course, on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/flashopera, and Reverb Nation at reverbnation.com/MikeSchmidt4. And thanks for watching. Take it easy.